Tranter Graphics Inc. has been providing custom-printed food and beverage serviceware to authorized resellers for 47 years. With a specialty in being able to provide minimums as low as 100 pieces on most products, they offer nearly 700 different SKUs, most of which are made here in the USA, from napkins and coasters to compostable cups and beverage sleeves. In today's day and age, everyone wants their product fast, and Tranter Graphics understands that, being able to ship out orders up to 5,000 pieces in just 5 days. Orders consisting of larger quantities are usually shipped out between 7 and 10 days. Most would agree that our customer service is what sets us apart from our competitors. With an A+ Sage rating for 2026, we guarantee you will have an enjoyable experience with us.
Hello and welcome to Promo Perspectives. My name is Nicole and I am your host for today. And today I am joined by Patty and Brittany from our internal Sage web team. And they both play different roles in helping our customers build and optimize their websites. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to have a winning website and why it is so important to everyone's business. Mm-hmm. So thank you both for joining me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here.
Thank you. So first of all, can you each go through and say exactly what it is, like what's your title and what you do on the web team?
My name is Brittany and I'm a senior website consultant here at Sage, and I handle the process of creating websites for our distributors and our suppliers, and from start to finish, and then also through any changes that they may need in the future.
Nice.
And my name is Patty McGowan. I am a senior website specialist, and what I like to tell people is I push the buttons. Brittany passes her notes that she gets from the customer on to me, and I actually kind of facilitate the changes, make the updates that need to be made, and kind of provide support from like the technical side. Mm-hmm. So.
Awesome. Okay, so in both of your own words, let's start just kind of high level. Why is it important to have a good website? Like, why do our distributors and suppliers need to have a good one to begin with?
I mean, in the year 2026, I think we all know how important websites are. I was reading a study recently that said, 59% of online purchases are done on a mobile device. Mm-hmm. So, and it's more every year. So I think the reasons why you should have a strong website are because that's the way business is done now. It's such a huge chunk, and you're really not capturing a huge audience by not really focusing on what that website looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, the times have changed. We're no longer purchasing out of catalogs anymore, so people need to be able to see the products and be able to quickly search for things with ease. And that's why our sites being so great and also mobile responsive is so important for just to be able to quickly be able to reach out to people and have that contact information. If you give someone a business card, they can lose that. Whereas if they know your website and they know your company name, they can easily pull that up at any time and reach out to you.
That's such a good point about like really catalogs or physical catalogs are kind of going in the way of the past. So you do have to have somewhere online, like that's just where people are. Like, that's where they are expecting to see you. Are there things that you see, maybe like mistakes that you're seeing about like maybe websites that aren't super like optimized, or you can tell that they haven't like taken the time to really create a strong presence online?
Yes. I mean, so much of it is just taking a little bit of time to make the site unique to you and your business and really honing in on your niche, whatever that may be. And, making sure that your customer base knows where they can go to find that, and also be able to really, show what you offer, because there's so many distributors out there, but you have that personal touch and you can show them, who you are and what you do and what extra services you may offer as well.
Yeah. Anything that you would say?
Yeah, I think definitely making the website reflect your business in a kind of a personalized way. I think a lot of people want to just set up a site and expect the orders to start coming in. And in reality, the website is a tool that's built to support your business. And that should be an intentional process. You should be thinking about, well, how are people interacting with the homepage? And I think a lot of people don't really do that. So yeah, definitely taking advantage of how people are actually using your site.
Yeah. That's a good segue into my next question, which is, what are some key elements that people should focus on? I'm thinking like branding, navigation, like what are some of those elements that you guys are like you make sure to make a point to people like this should be a consideration?
Definitely kind of going into the same thing, right? The personalization and meeting your customers where they are. So if that means if you're selling to sports organizations and team sports and things like that, have that be a focal kind of aspect of your homepage. If there's a certain way that you gather information from customers, maybe you just want leads rather than actual product orders because you like to be a part of your service is that kind of service that happens in between the order and the kind of information gathering. So I think having those kind of aspects on your site, maybe it's a form up at the top, maybe it's products right away. How are you going to make your website actually kind of work in tandem with your business and not just kind of exist outside of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brittany, are there any, like from a consulting side, are there any common gaps that you see when you're reviewing someone's website?
Yes, I would say a lot of times it just comes down to people not really taking the time to add any unique information, because we can build a site with the generic information all day, but that's not going to work for them as well as the distributors who really take a little bit of time and provide us, some unique information and take the time to build out pages. Like having custom pages on your site with, those frequently asked questions, information about your company, those call to actions leaking to forums so that people know how to reach out to you for those different services. Like those are all things that really are going to help your customers and help you in the long run as the distributor.
Yeah. And I don't know that everybody who might be listening recognizes this, but our Sage websites offer a lot of customizability. Like just because we offer like a website product and there's technically quote unquote 3 tiers, like there is so much that can be done.
Especially now with all the new features. I mean, the options are kind of endless now, which is great, but also can be a little overwhelming when you're trying to figure out that starting point. And so, that's why we do have the consultants that are able to help people and guide them kind of through that process.
Yeah. Which again, like, I don't know that everybody recognizes that even a service that we offer. That you can have.
Right.
Speaking of that, like, have there been any websites that you've seen, or maybe like some unique examples of some customizability that you guys have implemented or worked on with people?
I've helped a guy recently set up one of the things they do most, or one of the things that they've really taken to, is the company stores. And so one of the things we did recently was every time they're trying to get somebody to sign up for a company store, or there's kind of this questionnaire that they're sending, and they're having to go back and get all this additional information. So one of the things we did is we set up a custom form that kind of captures all that information. It's consistent. They send the page to the customer. It's got all the information they need with the form that gathers everything else they need. And so it's really streamlined that process of getting people onto the company store platform. And that's really been effective for them. They love that stuff. So absolutely. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say with our new features that we have now with the page builder and all of that, we've been working with a lot of customers on kind of customizing and revamping a homepage with, those unique different features and just like some really nice design elements. We just have a lot more options available now than ever before. So it's exciting for our customers and for us to build, really unique sites. So.
That is a lot of fun. Are there any examples you can think of that maybe got a revamp, like their website got a revamp, and then you've seen some noticeable like traffic, or like have you anything anecdotally that you guys have heard about a website refresh?
I can't think of like a specific example because we don't usually hear a lot back from them after kind of the process. But I would say, I think now with the custom forms, as Patty mentioned, like that's such a huge feature that we didn't have previously, or we did, but you had to pay for it. And so now it's available to anyone, and they can have not just one form, but they can have a form on all of their different services pages. And it makes it really easy for them to, reach out to those people and get all of that information ahead of time and save them some time as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. note to anybody who has used website services, make sure that you reach back out to them so that they know how's it going. Because I'm sure you guys would be very interested to know.
I'm assuming they're so busy.
So busy.
So many orders now.
That's exactly right. The orders are just flying through.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay, so I guess let's say if anybody is listening and thinking like my website probably needs some work, like where should they start? I'm assuming they start kind of with your side. To your point, you can help guide them, and then Patty, your side and your team can actually start to implement.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I tell people when they're starting that process is, or when they're looking at their site, I think it's easy to just say, oh, just make it look like this website example. Get on your site, open it up, have grandma open it up, have people that care about you open it up on different devices, on a cell phone, and see how it works. See how easy it is to place an order, because it may not reflect what you're imagining your customers are going to do. Again, like the school sports thing, if you don't have that stuff front and center on your homepage, it's not really adequately supporting your business. So definitely get in touch with our team. Everybody's got an assigned website consultant. So I like to tell people, hey, they work for you. Brittany works for you, not me. And so get in touch with them and start thinking of some ideas. You can really start from nothing. You don't need to come to us with a well thought out thesis and notes. You can come to us with just some general ideas. I want this. I'd like to do business more with this kind of person. Reach out to our team and we'll get you going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Them just having a clear idea of what their goals are for the website and what they're trying to achieve and their customer base, that gives us a lot to work with in the beginning to know, are you wanting the site to just be strictly for research purposes for your customers to be able to find the products that they're looking for? Are you wanting it to be e-commerce? Like, what is the goal of the site, and who is your goal client, right? Or who is your current client, and kind of designing the site around that. And just making sure that everything is very clear, and contact information is so important. Making sure, if you haven't checked your site in a while, get on there, make sure everything's up to date. People can reach out to you, and, everything that you want them to know is there.
Yeah. Okay. That is going to tie into like my last question I'll ask you both, is just to send off. If there's anything that people can go do like today, like what's the one thing if you're like, go check your website and make sure you do X or that this is working, what would you say?
I would say the first thing was kind of what we just touched on, is just making sure the site is performing how you want it to and it's working as you intended it. I think kind of something that people aren't taking advantage of is creating preference groups so that your site is not showing the 1 million+ products in the database, but it's showing the vendors that you have worked with and are tried and true. You like their products. They're in your, region. You can get them more accessible, and it's just an easier way to kind of control what products your clients are seeing. So that's something that a lot of people don't do. And so creating those preference groups is a really great kind of first step. And then I would say just walking through the process of your site and making sure everything's functioning as you want. Make sure those links are all still working. Make sure any catalogs you've uploaded are up to date, just making sure that everything is fresh for the new year.
Yeah. Patty, what say you?
I think one of the first things one of the things I'd like to make sure every customer is at least aware of is make sure you have a custom URL. We do provide kind of the promoplace.com address that kind of comes in the box with every website, but make sure you have your own custom URL. I think it has a lot of kind of legitimacy that it adds to the website, and it lets you kind of put it on your business card. And now it becomes part of the larger ecosystem in which your business exists. So definitely making sure you have a custom URL. And if you're on any kind of socials, LinkedIn, TikTok, anything like that, make sure you have those on the website as well, and kind of start to connect that web.
And make sure your website is in your email signature. That's another big thing. Promote yourself. Make sure that everyone knows you have a website and how to easily access it. Yeah, exactly.
Right. The website doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Yeah.
So making sure you're starting to connect that to the rest of the strategy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Love that. Great advice. Well, thank you both so much for joining today. This was very helpful. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into building a website, and you guys are here. And obviously, not just you two. We have a team of people that goes into making sure that the people who are making websites with us are getting the most out of it, and making the most effective sites that they can. So again, thank you both for joining, and thank you everybody for listening today. We will see you on our next installment of Promo Perspectives.